Our new player starts to the bottom right of the map for LGIM. I can't come up with a pun, but can...
LGIM. Ruin.
What is Ruin?
What did he ruin this time?
What did he ruin? Is he looking at some old ruins? I don't know.
I don't know either. Top left is opponent. We know this guy. We all know him very well. 2 titles under his belt. Starting for Axiom-Acer. It is, of course, the Terran player called
Acer MMA.
Contrary to popular belief, not an MMA fighter.
Oh, Wolf. We kind of missed the obvious one, I feel.
What is this?
We talked about ruined fantasies, ruined dreams. What about life?
Oh, wow.
Oh my god, I mean, this is when it gets real.
We didn't think about that one.
Yeah.
They're out there, and it's going to happen. It's going to come up going forward into this team season.
But what happens when he ruins my ST?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wow, you and I are just on the same page with this. I definitely missed the life one, but yeah, one way to ruin your ST is to put a bunch of salt into it.
Oh, yeah, you never want to do that.
Don't do that. Don't put pepper either. It's not good.
You know what Atosis ruins?
What?
I mean,
oh, well, I do, but I just want you, you to answer.
No, I'm not talking about the curse. Okay, I know that you're a little bit weird with these things, so I have to confirm that you are actually on my side here.
Okay.
Do you eat what do you eat your cereals with?
I don't drink milk with my cereal. I don't actually usually eat cereal.
But I hate the both of you.
But when I used to eat cereal, I would eat it without milk because it gets soggy.
Why?
It gets soggy. It's weird. I don't know.
Who eats cereals without milk? You are like Atosis. It's horrible.
In America, they've had for a while. They probably still have this. These small boxes of cereal that you could have with Fruit Loops, Kicks, as variety packs, and people, what you're supposed to do is take it with you to school or something, pour it into your bowl there with some milk and eat it. But everybody actually just carried them around and ate them out of the box, like
yeah, I can
for
understand
snacks
that,
all the time.
but not with water. It's like
water. No, I don't use water. I just eat it like
okay, no, but Atosis eats them with water, which I think is pretty disgusting.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. Like, do you make your brownies with water too? Like,
I don't know. I have this bet with him. I have to try them with water, and he tries them with milk. I'm just sacrificing myself, taking one for the team, so that he finally gets his eyes opened and sees the world as it is. But yeah.
By the way, let's open our eyes and see the world as it is here. Ruin is going to try to ruin the expansion of MMA with this pressure with the Mothership Core and the Stalker without a bunker. This is quite ruinous. I mean, it can literally kill you because you're going to lose too many Marines, and then that Mothership Core with its really loud but mostly puny attack is going to start to hurt you.
Exactly, and the problem is that not only your expansion, but your whole plan could be in ruins after an attack like this.
Yeah, it'll really ruin your day for sure if you're playing against us on the ladder.
Yeah.
But I still am a little surprised no bunker here, and he doesn't commit to it. Instead, he goes for the scout. What we will likely see here is what most Pro players are doing against Terran is go for the scout to see if he has gas, and then also time warp the SCVs to mess up the mining a little bit.
Exactly, you can do all these things, and currently what we have for his opponent for MMA, we have once again the tag into the Widow Mines at first. A bit of a scouting going on, as mentioned here, with the Mothership Core for Ruin, who now has a bit of an idea what's going on here. He did not really see the starport, but he saw everything else, so he can fairly assume what's going on here, exactly.
We are probably going to see what has been the death of many keyboards and mice, people's sanity. There will probably be a Widow Mine in a dropship, and it will go to the base. And this is one of those things that, he's not actually doing it. That Widow Mine was just a little bit uncomfortable. He moved slightly. But that Widow Mine drop can be extremely unsuccessful, or it can be a game ender. And it looks like he's not going to go for it. Just rather wants to use his Widow Mines defensively, which is less of a gamble.
You know, the one thing that a lot of people have a bit of a problem with in this matchup when you play Protoss is the speed boost upgrade for the Medivacs.
It makes drop defense very difficult.
Yeah, it's just so difficult, especially with the Widow Mine drop that you just mentioned. Even if you know that it's coming, you see it, or you have a few cannons ready, it's just so difficult to hold it off, because with the speed upgrade and a good timing, you can just boost over your opponent's defenses. Even if there are stalkers, you just time it well and bam, you're gone, and you're in the middle of the mineral line. A lot of Protoss players have tried to counter this with cannons in their bases, but it's really difficult. You actually came up with a really good idea. You had a suggestion that we were talking about lately. you could actually try to change this upgrade so that it takes energy when you use it. I mean, it's just an idea, and I'm not very sure if that would really balance it, but it's a very interesting thought and something that suddenly it gives you the option, but at the same time you have to be more careful about it. And this is exactly the problem we talked about.
Widowmine kills that Stalker in 1 second flat. Boom, second Stalker goes down, and even with the Nexus charge, every unit gets out, not a single one lost. And this is the problem, because even though you have the Nexus cannon, which minimizes the damage that you take, you can never punish your opponent, it feels like, when the drop is on the way out. And that makes it just so annoying. I have to give credit earlier, by the way, to the energy idea to Whiplash. He was the one who first suggested that, and I thought it was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I'm not quite sure if you could change it, if it would really balance the game, but the thought alone is interesting because you still have the option of doing it, but it adds another element to the entire issue. You suddenly have to be really resourceful with your energy. You're like, okay, I can use this twice. I can now start the boost, but then I suddenly don't have enough energy to really heal my unit. So what do I do?
Yeah, it would provide a nice trade-off. Maybe just a one-time 25 energy or something like that. I don't know. I'm not David Kim. He'll have to figure it out if he wants to do that. But it's certainly an interesting solution to the problem. He repairs his medevac because the medevac is going to continue to be useful now. It did take some hits from that cannon earlier.
MMA so far is playing a really good game and trying to just be aggressive here and make sure that Ruin is not going to be too cheeky in this game. We have Widow Mine set up at home. He has double bunker, 3 Widow Mines. Quite a lot of damage potential. So there's not a lot that Ruin can do to push out here.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't lost too much. The Widow Mine drop from earlier killed 2 of his Stalkers, but then he didn't lose any probes, which is always nice because if that ever happens, you might pull a few hairs out of your head. But this drop is in a position to try to pick off pylons, it looks like, but with the Observer there, and these units cannot commit. Without even using the speed boost, he was able to get away. I don't think he notices that Observer, else he would have killed it.
Yeah, I don't really think so. We would have seen a scan. But in the main base now, we have the robotics base. Oh, he saw it.
Yeah, there he goes.
Sees the Observer, drops the scan, takes it out. Well done.
Leaves the Marine so he can spot when the Prospero takes a third.
Very map aware here. I like it. And we have now the tech into a Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine General. I mean, this thing just suddenly became so much better in Heart of the Swarm. It's so much easier to go for this tech. Yes, you still invest, but you don't invest as heavily anymore as you did before. So you can build it. It's just something
it feels
where you
reasonable.
Exactly. It's more reasonable.
It's like basically a little bit more expensive than 1DT it is itself. So Widow Mines do not detect observers who would have to have scanned to kill that. Yeah. Now, the DT run-bys can be a big problem while this attack goes on, because if he can defend this attack by ground and then send DTs in as well, maybe even with some charged zealots, this is going to become more and more annoying for the exposed Terran base. I worry, though, without the Nexus being completed, you can't actually use that overcharge ability on it to save it against this attack.
We have more scans going off against the observers. A really good job by MMA here controlling the map and also the scouting patterns of his opponent.
Yeah. It makes the Widow Mine so much more useful when your opponent is out of observers, and if he doesn't make any more, he's going to lose too many units, so it takes away his Colossus production. We have 2 DTs warping in at that top pylon while this attack goes on. It's not enough units to make anything happen. Yeah,
the time warp has been used, but here comes the drop in the main base, actually at the natural, at the third base. Here we go, moving in, and this could do a lot. He's trying to snipe the Nexus for a sec, but he was only able to kill a few of the Harvesters, now moving in, but sees that there's too much and deals with it by just pulling off.
The DTs are going to work now at the natural. He tries to start a turret. There's a DT, I think, in the main base as well right now. Yeah, he runs out of the main, and finally a scan clears up one of the DTs, but the second one actually escapes and goes into the third.
That's a lot of scans sacrificed here.
Yeah. I mean, including the scans he used earlier on the observers, that's just a lot of economy lost.
Exactly. So right now what we have is more missile turrets being built as MMA realizes that there are DTs. But I have to say, he did not really lose a lot of his economy to the Dark Shrine tech, and that was really well defended. So he's covering his bases, he's playing this very, very well. And he's going now into the Templar, sorry, Ruin that is going into the Templar tech as a result.
Oh wow, I can't believe he allowed this DT to get into his main. If this is controlled by Ruin, it could do a lot more damage. Oh, that was kind of weird. He will actually scan and kill this now.
Yeah, another scan goes off, trades with the DT, more DTs being warped in. There are so many observers for Ruin, just look at this.
He has 4 right now.
He has 4, I think MMA killed 3, so he went 7. This is nearly partying old school style.
Yeah, he's no creator when it comes to losing observers, but MMA has been having to use a lot of scans, and he always knows exactly where the army is, where the Widow Mines are.
He didn't really lose as many observers as Creator, but he's pretty close to ruin Creator's record.
Storm on the way, cannons in the main. He wants to be able to stop those medevacs before they can even start to get in there. That's one thing you can do against drops, is if the drops have to run away before they even get close, then I guess it's worth it to make the cannons. Storms are not ready yet. His Colossus count is up to 2, and there are only 3 Vikings out, so this should be relatively easy for Ruin to hold. He barely misses the Observer, which is very clear now with the animation.
Exactly. I love the animation that we have now, that you have this visible line where you know exactly, okay, this is the range of the scan, so the Observer is able to stay out of the range.
It felt a little bit weird to me at first, but I started to like it. That DT is just having some trouble. There he goes. Well, he's going to have to scan again, and he just scanned to kill an Observer. I don't know if he has another scan here.
Oh, he actually took down 2 Observers. I actually think that by now Creator's record isn't ruined.
I think so. It's been ruined by the fact that he's made so many Observers. He makes more than Creator has, so...
Yeah, that's probably it.
If you keep making Observers and losing them, then you're going to eventually break the record. That's part of his deal. As soon as the Observer disappeared off the minimap, he's like, yes! He's like, that was 13. Alright, Guardian Shield goes up. He's got to be so careful about these Widow Mines. And that scan also lets him know there's no Observer here, so he can keep the Widow Mine.
Yeah, he's walking in the Widow Mine right now.
1 Zealot, though.
It's a bit crazy to me, really, that with the upgrade that the Widow Mine experienced, now they can one-shot a Stalker. This is like, whoa.
Trust me, it's been very unfortunate. I've gone through 3 keyboards.
I can so understand that.
Luckily, I had spares.
You pulled the QXC?
Yeah. It was worse.
It was worse?
No, it wasn't worse. I think I probably broke some keyboards with similar builds.
What did you use, a hammer?
No. My fist becomes a hammer in these types of situations, though. Look at the upgrades for these 2 players, by the way. +2 just now coming out for Ruin, whereas +3 and +2 for Armor is coming out for his opponent. And the Widow Mine will kill a Stalker.
Yeah, another Stalker is down, and a lot of damage dealt to the remaining 3. Also, what we saw is that the Helmet upgrade has been researched by MMA now, so he has the option of going into Helmets.
Oh! Another Stalker down, and you know the thing is, this is so annoying because it kills a unit for free, but it also gives vision. It's like an Observer that's gonna just jump up and kill you. Imagine if Observers could do that. That wouldn't be fair, would it? 69.
Ruin has 6 Observers on the map. And you already... How many did he build in this game? I think the 13 is pretty reasonable at this point.
Yeah. By the way, nice snipes on those Colossi. The Storm was not very much successful on the Vikings, and he loses another Templar with energy. Ruin's multitasking is suffering a bit here. Those Observers you were talking about oftentimes are sitting 3 in a row, just not doing anything. He's missing some Storms, missing some Templar, but he is going for some Zealot harassment, which is going to be very annoying for MMA. But now he has to send some forces back. And this gives Ruin the time now to move out and take that expansion, which he just finished. Keeps the army off his back. Nice. Still takes some hits on his Archons, but...
Here we go again. MMA now with the double expand, going into additional Hellbats. We have Cloak for the Ghost, 6 Ghosts at a time, +1 attack. The army supply is really in favor of MMA with 140 against 110.
Yeah, way ahead in army. He has less Harvesters because he doesn't need them. It's 73 to 52, plus he lost a lot of them.
Yeah, and he's building even more command centers. He's not only getting the 2 that I already mentioned, he dropped another one. He will have orbitals that he can use for additional mules. He does not need those SCVs.
Yeah, he's getting rid of them as soon as he can. He's also going to help him with the scans on the DTs, which have been really persistent. And we see, for the first time I've seen in a competitive game, Hellbats being made in this matchup. He researched Transformation Servos, so now he has the ability to actually deal with massive amounts of Zealots that are coming into the game.
+2/+2 for Ruin, but MMA is already getting his 3rd wave of upgrades, so he will take a lead here.
Something to note is that if he starts to get armor upgrades for his Vikings, which we don't usually see, they will also apply to those Hellbats while they're in infantry mode. Well, bio mode, they don't get infantry upgrades. This is a really nice position, though, for Ruin. He could get some good Storms up whenever the Terran army goes down. Good zoning here, though. EMPs on the Archons.
Nice, he gets the EMPs on those High Templars. That's what's the more important part. So no Storms at this point for Ruin. Well, he has like 1 High Templar that still has energy, but this was really important 10 High Templars against 12 Ghosts.
It basically went from we have potentially like 12 Storms to now maybe 1 or 2. And there's the Storm itself, 2 of them going down. They're actually really good.
Wolf, there has to be a sale at Walmart. Currently, MMA is getting 2 command centers for the price of 1, I feel. He drops another one.
Yeah. You know, there's an old saying, you have to spend money to make money. I guess that's how it goes with command centers and hatcheries on the next side. But here come the Zealots now into the natural. I don't know how he does it, but his Zealots are basically DTs, and the DTs just keep getting into the main, for example. But then look at how quickly the Hellbats are going to clean this up.
Exactly. He always sneaks a few Zealots in his opponent's economy line. He really wants to ruin his economy and his income.
Yeah. It's just very unfortunate to have this type of harassment going on all game long, where you never feel like there's a moment where you can just sit down and read the newspaper. You're always trying to deal with these run-bys. You can't stick with what's going on.
You're just trying to ruin your opponent's resolve.
Yeah. And this is exactly what he's doing. Now he goes into the main base with 1 DT and 7 Zealots. A unique combination here. The DT gets cancelled by that Viking shot.
That's a little bit annoying for him, because at first you just look at those Zealots and you don't know exactly what is dealing the damage, and then you have to drop another scan. You might miss it and then scan a little bit too late. But I have to admit that Ruin is really doing a great job when it comes down to harassing MMA. He's everywhere. He's at the natural, he's in the main base. He is taking down so many Harvesters. He killed 43 in this game.
He's really pushing it, though. I have to say, he's got to be really careful with moving out like this when he's throwing Zealots away, because, I mean, I say throwing away, I mean he's losing them. They're not part of his army, so his army is really, most of the time, weaker than MMA's, so he can't afford to take a poor engagement. He'll lose the game over it.
The funny thing is that he has the economy to back this up.
Yep.
The guy is on 5 bases by now. MMA can build as many command centers as he wants, but in the end, he is controlling 3 mineral lines.
I bet he's wishing he hadn't made so many now.
Also, another problem for him is that those mineral lines, they are slowly but steadily just depleted.
Good EMPs here. This is exactly what I was talking about. You know, economy means nothing if MMA kills your entire army before you can remake it.
MMA is ahead in the army supply, a fact that we established earlier. By now he is nearly 35 ahead. And here comes Ruin with good feedback. So la la.
Ah, the DT has vision with the watchtower. He thought he was safe. He's trying to figure out where the observer is. That's why he keeps scanning. He's like, how does that cannon have vision on my ghost? It's because the DT is on the watchtower. Really nicely done. That's an excellent touch.
Talking about DTs, we still have one to the top left in the main base of MMA. MMA has to dance on so many weddings at this point.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that saying exists in English, does it? Probably not, right?
I mean, that sounded really weird. I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm like, that sounded as weird as my newspaper joke earlier. Like, it just didn't come out right. I don't know.
No, I just said that and I was like, wait a second, that doesn't work at all. That probably... Okay, there's basically a saying in Germany that... Yeah.
I don't know what my grandmother used to tell me I was a sharp cookie. I don't know what that means either, but here comes Storms on this army. The Colossi need to get out of here. That's what these cannons help work with, and the good Storms on those Vikings. Nice. You know, the cannons have that extra level of DPS that you just don't have. The Zealots, he can't deal with these. He needs to leave some Hellbats at home or something. Even the DT here, he's scanning everywhere, but he's not getting the DT.
He needs to take so many scans. It is crazy. Ruin is really playing well. Consider this is his debut game, this first game that this guy plays in the GSTL booth.
Yeah, this guy is really good. He's so brave with this Templar. He walks out, the DT leading the charge. 6 Storm here. That DT is killing the ghosts.
Yeah, he takes them down one by one.
Warpin's in the main. He is peeling them apart like an onion here.
And look at the money bank. He is at 3,200 minerals. He still has the gas that he needs. He's just continuously warping in Zealots everywhere. DTs are also always a good choice for him to put pressure on MMA. And the
bank
Wolf,
man, look
the
at
Acer
that.
player, he is really struggling. The problem that I talked about earlier, his minerals, they are gone. They are about to be gone. He doesn't really have a lot of mineral income anymore.
He's out of money basically already. He's scanning here to kill a DT, but he can't even kill it. That's minerals lost. He's going to lose his command center. He's out of energy on his Medivacs. He has 7 of them, but his whole army is constantly in the red because he cannot heal it. He cannot afford it. This is going to be the final engagement, I feel.
I actually feel that the Protoss player is about to ruin Acer's MMA's dream of doing the reverse all kill.
Yes. This is going to be it. Storm goes down again. He cannot afford to stim anymore. He stims this stim alone. Plus the storm. That storm, it's everything. GG!
These storms were crazy.
You know, at first I wasn't so sure about this guy. You know, his play was a little bit, you know, shaky, but he has definitely put the hurting on MMA. He made it look like MMA just didn't know how to defend harassment because its harassment was so good. I mean, we had DTs in the main, Zealots at the third, and at the natural, at the same time as he has 18 million observers, so he's scanning everywhere for the observers. He's got the DT on the watchtower, so MMA thinks he has an observer, but he doesn't.
He was everywhere, and it was insane. I have to really say that this was the first time that we have ever seen this player, but I can guarantee you already it was definitely not the last time.
Yeah. I would be surprised if this guy does not make a good run in the qualifiers coming up.
He just won against MMA. And you can say about MMA what you want, but he's an experienced player. He has
2 stars on his chest, man.
Exactly, he has 2 stars on his chest, and he played against a newcomer.
It's just... It was a sick play. You know, the multitasking was out of this world, and I'm impressed by it. Just really patient play as well. Yeah. Taking his third a little bit late, making the Dark Shrine. We talked about it. You know, the Dark Shrine's still a little bit of an investment, but guess what? It paid off this time.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. I mean, he made that one work. So many DTs everywhere.
Just with all his map control, the Acer player, MMA, he could never even take another command center. Eventually it became an issue. He had like 8 command centers he couldn't use because he could never actually move them to a base.
3 bases against 5, and of those 3 bases, only 2 were mining, and in the end it was only 1 that was mining.
They were barely mining with all the Zealots harassing and how many times he had to pull away. He did do something unique. He made Hellbats with his army against Protoss, helped him deal with the harassment a little bit, so I think that's something we may see in the future as well.
I feel this game was actually like pretty insane. It's not only about, yeah, exactly. It's not about the match itself. It's just about the players that were playing it. So I want to see Rune in the next match. I want to see him in the next GSTL match, especially now in the preseason. LGIM is of course advancing, and they needed only 2 players to take down Axiom-Acer, and those were not even their heavy hitters.
Right.
I mean, it's a little bit weird to say because now we're transitioning into Heart of the Swarm. So can you really... Yeah, I think you can talk about the achievements that people had in Wings of Liberty, but the stars that we had in Wings of Liberty are not necessarily the ones that we are going to see in Heart of the Swarm.
Basically, there's going to be, I would say, about a 2 to 3 month filter period where stars that shined continue to shine or they burn out, and that's what we're going to see. We're going to have new stars form. It's going to be like how the universe works and stuff with supernovas, supernova on now Azubu.
No, you're stretching. Alright, so we're jumping into the interview. Let's have a quick look at what Axiom-Acer has to say about this. Yeah, this match that did not go as intended.
See what Crank has to say.
선수를 제외하고는 되게 군심을 연습할 시간이 되게 많아가지고 각자 자신감도 되게 많았고 랭크도 가장 최상위권에 많이 포진되어 있었는데
Except for Young, everyone had a lot of time to practice Heart of the Swarm. They were pretty confident coming into today's match.
어떤 부분에서
The ranks in the ladder in general are very high, but the game on the entire match today did not really go as expected for them.
전체적으로 선수들이 많은
Pretty honest, yeah.
좋은 경기력을 펼쳐야 된다는 그런 부담감이 커서 그런지 잔실수들이 되게 많았던 것 같고요. 일단 어제까지 준비했던 그 테란 선수들의
He thinks that the players might have had a little bit too much pressure on their shoulders today. They made small mistakes here and there, and that changed the course of the matches in general. So he really feels that just the pressure led to that downfall.
자, 엑시엄에이서 자, 이번에는 뭐 8강에서 아쉽게 인사드리게 됐습니다.
I mean, it was an unfortunate series for them, but this is the preseason. This is their time to just open up. But I feel that we're going to see a new team from them coming into the real season where they have a lot more opportunities, and I think that there definitely is a lot of added pressure.
자신들의 성공을 위해서 엄청 열심히 노력하고 있습니다. 그래가지고 정규 시즌을 향해서 지금도
Well, Crank thinks that the players currently are not really on the highest level just yet. They are practicing really hard. They want to get there again.
팀 매니저에게
And talking about that, I would have loved to see Alicia. I mean,
있게 노력하겠다는 말을 전하고 싶네요.
네, 알겠습니다. 자,
Craig also adds that he wants to show better matches in the future, especially for the GSTL Season 1, also for their sponsors and managers.
Sponsors and managers,
자,
sure you guys
이어서
know
우리
who they
LGIM
are.
만나봐야 되겠습니다. 기분 정말 좋을 것 같은데요, 강동원 감독님.
We're going to take a look, of course, on the other side of things, talking with Hirai, the IM coach.
강동원 감독님 오늘 예상하셨던 스토리대로 나왔습니다.
You know, he's really grown on me as a coach as time has gone on. Just talking to him more often. So did the match go as you predicted?
축하를 하고 싶고요.
네.
그다음에 준비를 오래 했어요.
I'm very happy that my new player Ruin
한다는 소식이 전해지자마자
was able to come out and have a successful debut.
오늘 생각으로 준비를 시켰었고 희범이 같은 경우는 정말 열심히 연습하는 게 오늘 또 그 효과가 나온 것 같아가지고.
Ragnarok has been practicing really hard in the team house
전반적으로 지금
for Heart
저그라인의
of the Swarm,
신이범이
and it really showed today in his play.
가세를 하면서
Definitely
LGIM이
makes
더욱
sense.
무서워졌다. 그렇지 않아도 뭐 신뢰, 무게감 이런 것의 LGIM이었는데
Ragnarok just a player who was always talked about with the potential, now doing well as expected. Your roster has even more players in it than before, even stronger ones, is what
본인들이
Ian
열심히
was
한
saying.
대가라고
See if he
생각하고
can comment on that.
여러 선수의 같은 시너지 효과라고 생각해요. 저 친구들만 더
I think it's our players' synergy from practicing together.
더 탄탄한 뭐
And
실력.
that's of course ideal in a team house
자, 이제
environment.
4강에서 NS 호소와 만나게 됩니다.
In the new game,
좋은
he
경기가
expects new
기대하고요.
players
자, 오늘
to
수훈
come out and
선수를
shine
만나봐야 되지 않겠습니까?
on their team.
자, 우선 지금
In
트리플 킬의
the
주인공
GSTL,
오늘
of course,
분단의
is
심장으로
kind of what he's focusing on right now, his team with these new
만들어준
players, because
자, 신이범
for a new
선수
player to be in the
마이크
individual league,
잠깐
first has to
해주시겠습니까?
qualify, of course.
네,
Yeah.
수고하셨습니다, 신이범 선수.
And just have a quick interview with
자,
Ragnarok.
오늘 트리플 킬에 성공.
We don't really have MVPs, but I suppose so with his
첫
wins,
번째 경기만
you would call the MVP.
He would definitely be there.
첫 킬을 노리고
With 3 wins and a best of 7, that is quite the accomplishment. Especially given the players that he was able to beat.
Yeah.
첫 번째 이기고 나서
So he mainly focused his practice on the first match today. This was of course the game that he could prepare for, but he gained a lot of confidence preparing for, winning the first game, and he could carry this momentum into the next game. And it's of course really happy that he was able to win 3 straight matches
그때
today.
뮤링링으로 싸먹었을 때 있잖아요. 그때 갑자기 집중력이 갑자기 흐트러지면서 게임 손도 느려지고 생각도 잘 안 돼가지고 그리고 또 마인을 너무 생각을
And the flank
못했어요.
that he set up didn't really work out in the 4th match.
울트라 그리고 저글링이 좀 많이 터진
That
게
was
좀
when he thought for the first time, okay, I might actually lose this game, and he thinks that the flank was the reason why he lost this game.
Yeah, his flanks were great in the ZVZ and also in the first tournament match he played. So he's definitely a flanker.
납치를 좀 감행하는 것을 봤는데요.
His favorite food is
저
flank
맵을
steak.
지난전을 처음 해본 거라서 이렇게 올려있는지 잘 몰라가지고
I don't know, I just want to go back to that joke earlier about having the stat about favorite food.
있는 거 다 납치해가지고 이겼어요.
Just said when he played against MMA, it was really the first time that he played against a Terran player on this map, so he did not really know how MMA could actually like use his tanks and marines on this map, especially these high ground situations that we had where he could use the abduct with the Viper. It was all very, very new to him, so he tried to do his best here, but he doesn't have a lot of experience on this particular map against Terran.
Yeah, that was a fun game to watch though.
That was really cool.
Really nice utilization of the new terrain by MMA, and the Vipers of course try to counteract
근데 저는
that.
지금 운이 좋아서 좀 이긴 것 같고요. 그리고 또 오늘
He thinks that Zerg are having a really hard time practicing for Heart of the Swarm. He got a little bit lucky
그냥 토스도 안
because most of his opponents today played like Links of Liberty and did not really play like a real Heart of the Swarm style, so that's why he thinks that everything went really well for him today. But in Heart of the Swarm, he waits for a new patch.
He also added that he's lucky he didn't play against a Protoss, as he felt he would have had some trouble there. And there is NST not coming out today, but probably we'll see him very soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
So consider this is only our round of 8. We are going to have round of 4 matches starting tomorrow, and then the finals will be the following day. So we're gonna, I think, see the schedule of who plays who for you guys very soon. Yeah, I thought it was gonna come up right now, but I guess it's gonna come up in the near future. Before the release of the game, before the release of Heart of the Swarm, we will see the schedule, I think.
Okay, that was really bad.
I don't know. Let's put them up. Put them up. There it is.
So there we go.
We'll see them right now. Here they are. We'll see them tomorrow as well for refreshing people's memories of what happened today.
A 3-0 by Ragnarok, and then a Ruin shatters the dreams of a comeback with a reverse all-kill by Axiom-Acer. Yeah. So with a 4-1, we have LGIM advancing to the semifinals.
And there's my head again. Here is our schedule. Startail plays Azubu. FXO will play against Prime. And then, of course, following things up, NS Hosa runs into MVP. We saw the final matchup there, so you guys can see them now in big letters. NS Hosa will face LGIM. and Zubu face FXO in the semifinals.
Exactly. So the games tomorrow, that's going to be really good. LGIM has to deal with Sosa. We already heard from MC that he thinks we see a lot of different players in this encounter.
Yeah.
And of course then Team Azubu up against FXO. For Azubu this time we will definitely see Violet.
And this will take place tomorrow.
Exactly.
And in fact, I suppose we're actually having both team matches in one day. I did not think about that.
Yeah, me neither.
So that's going to be a lot of stuff tomorrow.
Exactly.
Awesome.
A lot of great games. Make sure that you tune in. I really hope that you enjoyed today's games. It was certainly really exciting to cast Heart of the Swarm again. It's pretty much fun, especially with all the new patches and all the new changes that we have coming out, new strategies. Everything is new, guys. Tomorrow we have 2 more matches. Make sure that you tune in. Everything is going to be completely free. The EODs in HQ. So live stream, go to GOMTV.net and check it out. And that's it for us for today.
Yeah.
See you guys tomorrow.